What is up, my nerds? We are back again. This is Blind Shot, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys a video version of a post that I made about developing duel habits when you are, especially when you're dueling in a tournament level setting. For the rest of you, of my audience who are visiting my channel, checking out my videos, I want to say thank you, and we appreciate having you guys here. You are more than welcome to stick around and listen to this whole thing. If you guys are a regular like tournament competitor, then you probably know most of these stuff already. But this is the whole point of this video, is kind of like show people, especially my teammates, that developing good habits is always a good thing. So anyway, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna be going through a few habits. The first one I want to talk about is draw dragging, or ensuring that you're only drawing one card during your draw phase. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my my 5 cards. So at the start of every turn, guys, there is the draw phase. So normally what I don't usually practice this because I duel with you guys casually, but in a tournament setting, what normally I do is like I put the card that I would draw, and I would drag it across my mat and add it to my hand. The reason for that is to avoid drawing more than one card. It's to ensure that you're telling your opponent that you're not a cheater and you will fight them fair and square. Because believe it or not, guys, in tournaments, people do draw more than one card, especially when they're desperate for that thing, and then they're desperate for that invite, or they want to top so badly. I don't know, because I've heard stories. So what they do is like they're gonna, for example, so they're just gonna like draw, like for example, like they pretend they draw a card, but not really. They actually draw 2. So yeah, it's a good way to ensure like having like a fair duel. So just keep in mind that drag drawing is always awesome. So you're making sure that you're only drawing one card too. Sometimes you do it by accident, and then your opponent starts accusing you. So like I said, guys, just to avoid like misunderstandings or stuff like that from happening in tournaments. So yeah, my next habit is I call it hand shuffling, or shuffling your hand. Basically, the idea for this is to there's nothing in the rules saying that your hand has to like stay within a certain order. No, there's no ruling about that. So hand shuffling, basically most people do it like they hold the card like this, the cards, their hand, and they go. I can't do it. That's why that's why I do it in a different way. So basically, what I do is like I just do this like consistently, especially when my when I'm waiting for my opponent to finish his turn or do whatever play he's doing. If it's not my turn, I usually just keep on doing this. What's the point of this? The point of this, in my opinion, I don't know if there's like another reason for it, but in my opinion, it's to kind of like maintain like your hand, prevent your hand from getting targeted by a card effect that would, for example, get rid of a card in your hand. So for example, if I keep my hand like this, and for example I just leave for example I need that pop and Raiko's in my hand. If I just keep my hand like this the entire time, and the chances of Raiko getting hit by a card effect and going to the graveyard is high, because my hand is steady and the order is just like that. So if I shuffle it, if y'all are smart, your stats and probability, then it will lower the chances of your opponent hitting the card that you actually need for that turn, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So the next habit that I want to talk to you guys about is setting back row. So you're gonna be asking like, why? You just said it. Just basically, what habit do we need to use for that? So basically, just go do that and end your turn, right? But the reason, this is kind of like I just kind of like thought of this like recently, and I do notice like some people in the tournament do this. For example, if you have 2 cards in your hand, if you have back row, for example, it's your first turn, and for example, you just set that Raiko face down defense position, and you have like a bunch of back rows to set. Normally, if you guys are like in Dev Pro, you have to do it one by one, etc. Right? But a smart thing would be is set all your let's just pretend these are all back rows. So the smart way would be, for example, like I said before, you were consistently shuffling your hand, and then by the time you decide, okay, I'm just gonna set my back row and end my turn. So you basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set all my back row at the same time. Okay. Just keep in mind, guys, that setting does not start a chain unless it's a card like DD Trap Hole, which is when you set a card with, I think it's like 1,000 or less attack. I don't remember, something like that, and then it gets destroyed and banished. So yeah, so there's nothing wrong with doing that, guys. And also, like I said before, Yu-Gi-Oh is a mind game. So if you wanna try and outsmart your opponent, not with just the raw power of your cards in your deck, but also with your wits. Okay, so the next habit I want to talk about is phase declaration. This is kind of like a no-brainer for most people, but they don't really appreciate the practice of that. The point of that is to keep constant communication with your opponent. If you guys want like a really smooth, clean duel without anybody like accusing somebody of cheating or whatever, you always want to declare your phases. Now, for example, let's say I'm the turn player, and hold on, let me draw my 5 cards. 5. That's my 6th one. Okay. So, for example, I'm the turn player, and my opponent just ended his turn. So I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be my draw. Draw my 6th card. So, if you guys are familiar with the phases, then I'm not gonna go over that. So, basically, you don't have to declare draw phase, main standby phase, main phase 1. No, you don't have to do that. You only have to declare it if something does happen during that phase. For example, like during the stand. Let's see. Right, Garunix, Fire King High Avatar Garunix. When he's destroyed by a card effect, he summons in the next standby phase, right? So when, for example, this is Garunix, and you go like, oh, standby phase, Garunix effect activates, special summon, destroy all other monsters on the field. Okay, so you don't exactly have to declare your main phase 1 either. It's automatic as soon as you start playing stuff. Then obviously it's the start of the main phase already. So for example, I'm gonna, if you guys are wondering what this is a Veiler. I do have an effect Veiler. I will show you guys later just so you believe me. I'm just using it in my other deck, that's why. Veiler's too expensive, guys. Anyways, so I'm gonna discard cost for special summon, then quick draw. Obviously that's the start of my main phase 1, etc., etc. Then for example, these are back rows, so I'm just gonna like set my back row, just like I told you guys earlier. Now, when you go to your battle phase, I'm gonna kind of go into deeper with this. When you guys are gonna go in your battle phase, you always wanna keep in mind the steps. There are 4 steps in the battle phase, guys. This is the start step, which is entering the battle phase. And the next one is the battle step, which is declaration of attack and selecting a target. The third one is damage step, which is where the damage calculation occurs, like the math happens. And the end step, which you exit your battle phase. Now, why am I telling you guys these steps? Yeah, because certain cards can be activated on certain steps that are kind of like big game changers. For starters, at the start step, when you declare your start step, your opponent can chain a card such as Threatening Roar to it. Therefore, you can't conduct any attack that turn. Battle step, that's where most back row happen. They can activate like Mirror Force, D-Prison, Compulse, etc., etc. Damage step, that's when you can activate like attack altering effects or negating effects or counter traps. And the end step, this is not, you don't usually declare this because like sometimes it's obvious, like when you start setting, it means that battle phase is over. But if you guys are up against Gladiator Beasts, then you would want to declare your end step, because Gladiator Beasts will only go back to the deck and special summon another one during the end of the battle phase. Okay, my next habit for you guys is called Synchro Summoning and Exceed Summoning, or basically summoning from your extra deck. Now, right now there's only two that kind of like matters. Everything else is, you know, you go to the graveyard and whatever. So, hold on a sec. Okay. So, if you guys are Synchro Summoning, a lot of people can get super messy with how they summon stuff. And I'm going to show you guys like a cleaner way or a smoother way to transit to Synchro Summoning or Exceed Summoning. So for example, I have these two guys on the field. So Junk Synchron is a tuner and Card Trooper isn't. When you guys are going to perform a Synchro Summon, of course the tuner and the materials go to the graveyard, right? In order to like a smooth transition, this is how I normally do it. I grab the Synchro monster, or sorry, the tuner monster. I scoop it, because remember I told you guys that the tuner goes to the graveyard first. So I scoop the rest of the materials if I have more. They go to the graveyard like so, and special summon my level 6. For example, like Junk Gardener. Okay, so like I said, you do it again. Take the tuner, scoop the materials. Let's say if you have another material, for example. So you can say, for example, you're summoning a Mistworm or something. So take the material, scoop, summon your monster. Okay, cool. Now for Exceed Summoning. Now let's say okay, I have 2 level 3s. This is how I normally do it. Or this is how everybody should be doing it. I know some people have their own styles, but whatever. This is how I do it. So I'm gonna literally overlay it. That's why it's called overlaying to the other card. So just, you know, leave like a small like indent on the other card so you can tell how much materials you have. Especially you have like sleeves that have these. These are awesome when you're Exceed Summoning, so you can count how many Exceed material you have and kind of have like an idea of what the other Exceed material is. And then you perform your, then you just put the Exceed monster on top. Let me just find a level 3. There you go. Okay, so you're gonna summon your Exceed monster. Same thing, you put it on top of the last material and putting like a small indent. And if you guys are summoning it in defense position, you just put it right at the middle, like a cross. Okay, so cool. Now the next habit is, oh, these are no-brainers. Understanding and reading the cards. So I'm gonna show you guys a card with like kind of a lot of text in it. I think Quick Draw is the one I have here. That's a lot. Okay, anyways, so cards like these. Zoom in there. Okay, if you guys can show, it's kind of like kind of has more a lot of text. I have more. I just don't want to pull it out. Such as like, you know, I have like Redox. If you guys do use Dragon Rulers, they have ridiculously amounts of texts. So make sure you guys just read it. Take the time to read them, because sometimes your opponent will just go, "Oh no, don't worry about it. It doesn't do anything right now." But when something happens, something will happen. And your opponent's not obligated to or kinda ish not obligated to tell you everything that's gonna happen, right? So it is your responsibility to read the card and understand them, okay? And it'll gain you an advantage over that duel, as long as you and if you understand what's going on. And last but not the least, the habit I wanna go over is a remove from play. Sorry about that. Okay, so if you guys are familiar, for example, this is like a small window that I have to work with. So this is your deck zone, and this is, for example, your graveyard. You remove from pile. Normally, if you go play Dev Pro, it is above the graveyard pile. You can do that, but normally what I would do is I will put the remove from play pile like near me. Like this is, for example, this is my point of view. So the remove from pile is gonna be remove from pile. You say remove from pile. Remove from play will be close to me. Why is that? Because again, believe it or not, guys, stuff do happens in tournaments. Some people might end up stealing cards. Some people you know, do really bad things like that. And especially, you know, you guys have to take care of your cards. Your cards are really, really expensive, and you know, they don't kind of grow from trees, and you kind of have to, like, you know, work hard for money. So the best way to keep your cards safe and close to you is to, like, this is how I do it. So I put my remove from play pile. I kind of like indent them a little bit, so I kind of see which ones are my remove from play, and I keep them close down at the bottom of my mat, like very near to me. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, just let me know in the comment section below. And I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I might actually do this like a segment, so you know, show you guys more dueling tips. So because I want you guys to become professionals and kind of show that you know what you're doing in playing Yu-Gi-Oh, especially when you're, like, you know, in the tournament setting. You don't want to give your opponent that hint that you're kind of new to this game, right? You always want to show that you're confident and you know what you're doing. All right, so I will leave annotations at the top of my video. So if you guys want to go back on some of the habits that I went through, you can just click through them, so you don't have to watch the whole video. So again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys later. We will resume duels next day or tomorrow. Okay, have an awesome one, and peace. And by the way, if you guys didn't believe me, I do have Veilers. When I got this, I was regretting that I didn't get the ultimate rare one, because the ultimate rare one is outrageously expensive right now. But I do have a first edition ultra rare. So, alright, so, oh, whoops. Peace.